What do we have here? We got the Scapegoat from Chavez. It's fun to say, Scapegoat. The goat.
No, not a scapegoat. It's a scapegoat.
I don't know. It's cool. Very cool knife, though. Now, this is definitely not a budget knife. Definitely not a cheap knife. Very, very solid build. Big, chunky titanium frame. No weight relief inside. It's a thumb stud opener only. There's no flipper tab, no fuller, no fancy stuff. But it reverse flicks really nicely. Really nice. Very smooth. Super smooth knife. Not drop shutty, but very close. Like, just give it the slightest impetus and it closes. Chavez has the famous skull pocket clip. I think there's a model or two that don't have these screw holes above the eyes. I don't know why they didn't, well, they could have just used the screws for the eyes. I think I would have done that maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm not Mr. Chavez. I assume the maker, or the designer, I'm going to say the maker of this knife is a guy named Chavez. I could look that up and make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Now, I call him the maker, but really these are made by Reate, I think. And I'll double check that too, but I think it's a Reate build. So this is made in China, but designed, by an American guy named Chavez. I think he's American. Maybe he's Mexican. I don't know. His name's Chavez. He could be Mexican, or he could be Scottish, for all I know. Thumb studs are really awesome, very sticky. They stick up nice and high. You're just not going to miss them. Very powerful opening impulse. You just kind of push forward this way with your thumb and it pops, man. It feels like an automatic knife. I don't love how the pocket clip has I love the front of it. It looks like it's going to go into your pants very nicely. But on the way out, I think it's going to get caught a little bit because the backside is more flat. I think this has been pocketed before, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in and give it a shot. Yeah, it's a little harder to get out. It's not bad. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, not bad. Just really nicely built. I love the way the lock bar goes around the pivot like that. That looks super cool. The steel insert on the lock bar only has one screw. Most have two screws to keep it, parallel or whatever, but I don't know if they really ever need it. They're always in a little cutout that is super, super precise that keeps them from being able to pitch either way. But, two is probably better in general. Boy, the action on these is just super, super duper smooth. It's got a nice sound to it, too. Just nice and solid. I think these are around $325, $350-ish, somewhere around that price point. And I'm not sure if they're something that's always available or most of the time available, or if they only come in drops and that's where you have to get them. I'm not sure on that. M390 blade. So great steel, great grind lines. Very nice looking. The lines on the blade going this way on the flat kind of have that hand rubbed almost look, but then that doesn't extend down to this part. That's just the the regular grind lines, what they call it, belt satin, I guess. Or maybe you call both parts of that belt satin. I'm not sure. The pivot has holes in both sides for a T8. Now, hopefully, it's a D-shaped pivot and don't need two tools to do it. That's kind of weird, but hey, maybe. Looks like all the let's double check. I think all the hardware is T8. T8. Yep, even the lock bar insert is T8, which is unusual. Usually those are T6. Ooh, it has a hole in the thumb stud too, which is also T8. Very cool. Everything's T8. as prescribed by the main guys who review knives and say don't put T6s in shit, they're too little. Really nice knife, man. I know it's a little bit outside of most people's price ranges. And it's not number one on my list or anything. So I would, I'm going to buy some other knives before I would spend $325, $350 on this guy. But, if I had unlimited funds to buy knives with, this would definitely be in my collection for sure. It's a very cool one. I like it a lot. Chavez Scapegoat. I think they called it the street handle, something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. If I find out any other info, I'll put it up above. Very cool knife. You always want to lay that with the pocket clip up because it has the coolest pocket clip in the knife world. No, it doesn't have the coolest one, but it's a very cool one, that's for sure. Might look cool anodized by somebody who knows what they're doing and could kind of tie in the little skull features with some anodizing. Anyway, there's your Chavez Scapegoat. Have a nice day.